And welcome back to the Weekend Ticket here on 531 PI. We're with Murphy Saw. What an honour, sir, for you to join us here today. It truly is an honour to have you with us. I'll take you back to when you played in your career coming through. We're here today.
It's a long way to go.
We're here today to celebrate and recognise the young up-and-coming Pasifika talent in cricket, which is a novelty, really. For yourself coming through, who did you see? Was there anybody of a Pacific Islander nature that was playing cricket that sort of inspired you to reach the heights that you did?
Not really. Other than my cricket was born from Kirikiti. So my parents were very traditional Samoan parents, church first, family, and Kirikiti was all part of the church life. So that's where I learned for my cricket. And then it's just environments you grow up in. So I grew up in Hamilton, where all my mates played traditional Kiwis, played cricket and rugby. And that's what I did. And I was just fortunate that we only had 13 players in our first 11 at Melville High School, where I went. But out of that 13, 6 of us played first-class cricket, and 2 of us played for New Zealand. But we had one of the parents, Wyn Bradburn, he played for New Zealand. We had good people who believed in us, who treated us all the same. You know, no one was different. You know, just a normal public school. But, you know, they just made you feel part of it. So I got into a system with Northern Districts, and I just played cricket and played rugby, and found out that I wasn't going to always win. My goal was actually to be like Brian Williams. He was actually my idol as a kid. To be a lawyer and an All Black were my actual goals. But didn't work out that way. And then just played cricket. And then, you know, then I look at people like Sir Garfield Sobers, and then later on, just getting to play with Martin Crowe and just the way he was, you know, they were sort of people who were quite inspirational for me as a young person coming through the ranks.
This organisation today and recognising some of the young talent that is playing from our Pasifika community here today, how important is something like this for the future of Pasifika cricket?
Oh, it's massive. I just think there's so much talent. I think not just in Samoa, across the Pacific, T20 cricket is ideal for our Pasifika people. You know, there's the Under-19 girls tournament going on at the moment in Malaysia. And our Samoan girls, you know, they've done pretty well over there considering the lack of preparation, all those sort of things. But it just showed that their natural ability. And that's what Pacific Islanders have. Hand-eye coordination, I think, is second to none. So these sort of things are so important in actually growing our Pasifika, that rugby's not the only sport, or rugby league's not the only sport for our kids growing up, that cricket is actually an alternative. And you can actually make a good living. I look at a lot of young boys who hardly played international cricket, but now they're on the T20 circuit. And some of these boys are earning $300,000 to $400,000 a year just playing on and it's only 2-3 weeks of cricket a tournament. You know, they might play 12 to 15 weeks a year, but it equates to quite a lot of money. So that's one part of it. But you know, we've also got, you know, I'm going out of context here, but we've got the men's qualifier for Samoa for the T20 World Cup later in the year, and we've been fortunate to get Ross Taylor on board. So he's coming back to play for Samoa, which is massive for us. Just to get someone of his calibre involved, that's going to inspire. Now we've got 3 or 4 other guys who play first-class cricket here and in Australia who are now available to play because Ross is playing. So it's all part of, you know, Ross now understands, well, he's always understood and has always wanted to give back, that there's an opportunity for him to really create. It's not about him going out there and playing the same way he did, but it's actually dragging more Samoans and Pasifika back into the game of cricket. And that's why these sort of tournaments, for our young people to see these sort of people giving back. And that's all I want to do, is give back so we can have these kids come through.
How big is it then to have the backing and the support of New Zealand cricket to get behind this, to help try and build this up?
Oh, it's massive. And to be honest, I think they could be doing more. But, you know, they've started somewhere. And I think they have the right attitude. Now it's actually putting some resource or whatever into place to actually help, you know, bring these young Pacific kids through. You know, it's not just resources, it's actually getting around the table. What do we actually need to get in place to help these young people come through? And, You know, and it starts at the schools for me. You know, if I look at it, we're still stuck in the old ways. You know, if you go to the right schools in New Zealand, I look at Auckland, you go to the mainstream schools, they all play cricket. That's cool, but you've got other schools that have actually got some really good individual players that do not get recognised because they're not going to these mainstream schools. But that's my own opinion. But I think if we take a broader look and just start sitting down with our communities and talking about how do we get these kids. You look at the Indian and Pakistani and the Asian kids coming, there's some really talented kids. It's not just Pasifika as well. So if we're going to be really open about diversity, it's actually been really open about it.
And let's hope that we can open so many doors for other schools in all different areas for that to happen.
Totally.
We're talking about T20 being a game that suits our talent. What sort of cricket can we look forward to in the next 3 days, and what will be different about the Pasifika style of cricket?
One thing I've always loved about involved in it, the celebration of a wicket. In Kirikiti, there's always a celebration. We don't do it the same way, but you get the same energy off actually getting a wicket or hitting a boundary. It's actually celebrating those sorts of things, and that's that's all part of what Pasifika brings to cricket. Is just that enjoyment factor, and actually just enjoying the game of cricket and just getting everyone involved. So that's what it's actually going to be brought, and you're going to actually see from 2 or 3 years ago, the skill level's actually really improved. And it'll continue to improve as long as we're getting in behind these sort of initiatives.
We were fortunate enough this week to have a chat to the young Samoan tennis player, Destiny Ayava,
awesome,
who won a game at the Australian Open. And we asked her about what was different about the environment during her game. And she spoke about hearing some of the cheer-hoos in the crowd and that difference that the Polynesian crowd brings. Can you see one day down the track, however long it might be, some cheer-hoos at the MCG or some cheer-hoos at Lord's?
Why not? Why not? I know Ross said that he's played in the UK and someone, I'm not sure what they yelled out, but it was some Samoan celebration, and he looked around, he didn't know where it came from, but he smiled because, it reminded him of, where he's come from. And that's really important. And I think that's really important in any sport we play is, these kids want to be known. They want to know where they come from. They want to actually link into their heritage, and that's really important for us to actually drive that sort of stuff.
Well, thank you very much for supporting this and getting this initiative underway. And we look forward to the next 3 days of fantastic Pasifika cricket.
Awesome.
Thank you, Murphy.
Thank you.
Cheers.
No.
Can I just grab